Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, December 21st. We're going to take a look at Palantir today. So Palantir going through a few changes here. So it used to be supported by this uptrend support. It broke that, which we had always anticipated because it was very steep and it was on the back of a big gap up. And now that it's broken it has established this downtrend resistance. We'll see if that continues to take shape or not. If it stays in this area, like treating this gap or this 1696 level as support and continues sort of into this space, it would wedge out of here, sometime in the first week or so of January. So we'll see if that happens or not. But in any case, if it does want to buck this most recent trend with this pullback, it would want to shift out of this downtrend resistance really quickly, even if it sort of sidesteps it, or certainly if it can rise up through it. Now, like I said in the last video, it's interesting that it's been able to treat this gap as a support level. It's continued to do that as recently as yesterday, and then inside day coming today. So we'll see what that sort of produces tomorrow. But just a reminder, this gap, it would enter it at about 1721. It's filled it a little bit. It's filled it like down to about 17-ish or so. What was the low on this day? 1705, right? So it's filled some of it, but the gap goes all the stinking way down to 1505-ish. It's actually a little lower than that. I think it's 1496, right? So I mean, huge like percentage change if it were to come down and fill this gap, and would be a really quick move, like a really quick motion to gain so much and then retrace and basically lose all of the move. But we'll see what happens. But I just like to keep reminding folks of that. But first things first, we'll see what happens after this inside day today, as we get into tomorrow. Now, if it can stick with the battle for 17 at least, or even this battle between 17 and 18, like I said, downtrend resistance approaching here in just, a couple of trading weeks or so, depending on when it wants to hit it. Now, flipping over to the Think or Swim study, channel-wise, still situated relatively mid-channel. So not that catastrophic at the moment, right? It was up out of the channel. What we always look for when a stock is out of the channel is for it to pull back into the channel and retest the mid-range, that bright blue line in the middle. It did that. It wasn't able to get a second swing here, and so it lost support. But it certainly didn't fall through the bottom bound of the channel, right? Very clearly kept that range area as support, put in some nice motion to retest the mid-range again, and then it rejected off of it. So clear flip here from support to resistance on the mid-range, right? Quick support there, quick resistance there. Now in the histogram, it is showing that the bearish momentum is dying down a little bit. So it still is on this sort of slow but steady downtick. So we'll see if that continues to take shape, because it was a nice symmetrical up and down on the bullish side of things, returned to the baseline, and then just kicked things off right into some bearish momentum, and now also dying down. Doesn't have to be symmetrical, though. A bunch of these are. Even, most of these, not a bunch of like hiccup candles. So here's one where it sort of like started to die down and then picked back up and then died down, but it's pretty brief. So yeah, it seems like more often than not these histogram reads are moving pretty symmetrical, but everything works until it changes. So it's like the trend is your friend until the end. So we'll see, but here it looks sort of less problematic to me than it does over here. But we'll see what continues to take shape. Also, I think part of the reason that this looks like that is because this channel is very wide. If we scroll back, actually, it'd be better if we zoom out. If we scroll back to like more, less volatile times, I guess we'll say, you see how narrow that channel is, and then it just continued to stretch and widen because of all the volatility. So it still is like that. So I think while it may not at first glance appear that this is not as problematic as it looks like on the Webull chart, I think that that's predominantly because this channel is so wide. Like, this stretches a huge range percentage-wise. The bottom bound of this channel is at 1644, and the upper bound of the channel is at 1984. I'm not going to do the math, but percentage-wise, that's a huge, huge range for a stock of this price. So we'll see what happens in the coming days for sure. Big things that I'm watching, just a quick recap, is any motion toward this resistance trend. That would be interesting to see what it does. Any motion back, sort of like dipping its toe back into the gap, or does it become not a dip again because maybe buyers don't continue to show up at that level, and at some point there's a capitulation and then it's well into the gap. Those are sort of the things that I'm looking for, either a push to try to nudge this downtrend resistance to see what happens, or a sort of little rug pull and into the gap it goes. But we'll see. It's just what I'm looking for. Obviously, I'm stating both things, so I'm not making a prediction which way that's going to go. We'll have to wait and see. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week has been going well, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.